guys, welcome back into another video, and welcome to another movie review. We're doing it. Maybe you guys will actually watch this one. LOL, JK, kinda. But welcome back into another movie review. Today, we are talking about a film that, I'm not gonna lie, I was actually kind of looking forward to. I saw the trailers, saw the castings, and I was intrigued. And I went to see it in glorious IMAX last night. Today, we are talking about Snake Eyes. I know. I was excited to see this because it looked like, you know, a new kind of fresh take on one superheroes, but like action figure type, you know, like the toy movies and video game movies don't ever really do that well. So I was intrigued. I was like, let's see how this does. Is it any good? I don't know. So I've got thoughts. That's all I'll say. But I think without further ado, let's just get into the review. So we'll hit the good first. I think Henry Golding's actually pretty good in here. I think he, and one of my other points I'm going to hit right now as well, is I think he brings some actually really nice emotion to this film. A lot of this film is very stiff. It does not feel very emotional. The emotion feels very forced from a lot of the characters in this film. But from Henry Golding, he actually, it feels legitimate. It feels like the emotion is there, and I really respected that about it, because this is a tough role to take when you're taking something based off of a toy, and you know they've had cartoons and they've had some failed movie attempts. How do you make something like this? How do you make a franchise and IP like this elicit emotion and actually you feel for the characters? And I think that Henry Golding actually brought some of that emotion here, and it was pretty good. I was feeling for the character. I wanted him to succeed, even though, well, we'll get into that in the negatives. And I said this in my notebook, it's in all caps, some of the action is pretty cool. I would be lying if I said I did not enjoy a lot of what I saw on screen. And remember, entertainment is one of the biggest scores I give when I rate movies. Some of the action was cool. I like some of the shots. A lot of the sword fighting was really awesome. Well choreographed to a point, but it was hard to see the choreography because we were in shaky cam the entire time. But again, I digress. We will get more into that in the negatives. But there were some cool action sequences. There were some cool moments. I like some of the slow-mo moments because you can actually see what's going on. And yeah, I mean, you have expectations going into movies like this. You know what you're going to get. So sit back, relax, enjoy, and watch and have fun. So I had as much fun as I could have with a movie like this with as many issues as it had. Now, I will say the mythology and world building here is good. I liked it. I feel like they may have rushed through it a little bit, but it still convinced me enough to be on board and be invested. That's like the one part of the writing that's like actually relatively good, because I would tend to believe that Golding's performance is what makes him good, not the writing. I think this is the best part of the writing, the mythology, the world building, because we are reopening this G.I. Joe universe. Basically, I don't want to say retconning everything that happened beforehand, but this is like a new reboot of the universe. So you got to do that world building, you got to do that mythology, and I think for most of it, it was pretty good. Didn't have a big issue with it at all. But with the good comes the bad. There's a lot of bad. It's very tropey. So I wrote this in my notebook. I wrote this phrase in my notebook. This film had the potential to be great. It really, really did. All the ingredients were there. It had the opportunity to be great. But it ended up falling into that regular kind of action B-movie type mold. It's what it ended up falling into. A lot of that is because of the writing. The writing is very, very trope-filled. Extremely trope-filled. I mean, you pick a trope in the action genre, it was there. The film is not very well written. Down to the dialogue, down to choices characters are making, down to the main storyline and mystery of our character of Snake Eyes. Spoiler territory right now, guys. So if you don't want spoilers, click off. Why are we hating the hero? Why are we doing that? Now, I understand the motivations to a point. To a point. And I realize that it is the driving force to get our real villain, the thing that he wants, and then change our protagonist's heart. I don't buy it. I don't buy. Why are we hating the hero in this story? And why at the end of the movie are we feeling bad for the eventual villain? Because they set up, I forget what his name is, but they set up a G.I. Joe villain at the end of the movie. Why are we feeling bad for the villain at the end of the movie? Guys, you need to flip that. Why are we hating the hero? I don't, that is just really poor writing. I think I understand what they were trying to go for, but they did not execute it well at all. In the end, I ended up hating Snake Eyes and ended up feeling bad for, I believe his name was Tommy, but he, Shadow Storm or something. I don't know G.I. Joe, so sorry, G.I. Joe fans. We end up feeling bad for him at the end. That writing's very clunky. That writing is not very well thought out at all. I don't know if someone looked at the thing and said, hey, is it bad that we're, like, hating Snake Eyes throughout the entire movie? Like, is that bad? I did not enjoy that about the writing at all. The shaky cam. The shaky cam. So, like I said, the action. This movie had the potential to be great on all fronts. Writing, performances, and the action. The action had the opportunity to be great, the potential to be great. But when you're in shaky cam 90% of the time and you cannot see what's going on, it may sound cool. I actually think the sound design here is pretty good. It may sound cool and, you know, it may be like really quick and flashy and cutty. But there comes a point where that is too much, where that is overkill, where you legitimately cannot see what's going on because of all the motion blur. That's literally, like, again, I watched this in IMAX. I watched this on a huge IMAX screen, and I was having trouble deciphering what the heck was going on. So the shaky cam was too much. You know, a simple like someone walking down a hallway or someone like running. It had to be shaky cam. I mean, the biggest example is the first sequence, like in the LA docks, when they're like running at a car. Like, if you watch the movie, you know what I'm talking about. That doesn't need to be shaky cam, guys. There are things called gimbals and stabilizers. Stabilize the damn camera. I'm sorry, you didn't need shaky cam. And lastly, the performances. Now, not all the performances are bad, like I said. Henry Golding's pretty good. Let me pull up. I want to get her name right. And I don't think it's her, because I do think she's a talented actress. I legitimately think it's her. It's the writing. But let me just pull this up so that I don't butcher her name, because she's very well known. Samara Weaving playing Scarlet, and like I said, she's done a lot of great stuff. She's a great actress. The writing of Scarlet, like, it's bad. It's just bad. Her character was not good. Her character literally felt as stiff as an action figure. Literally. Like, literally. Her character felt as stiff as an action figure. And I don't think it's Samara Weaving in her performance. I legitimately think it is the writing and the direction that is given to her. I did that, like, that totally took me out of it. Totally took me out of it. So that's kind of the biggest gripe I have with performances, Samara Weaving. And again, not a diss at her. I think it is the writing, and I think it is the direction she was given. That's all I got to say about that. But that's pretty much. I'm all stuffy this morning. I think without further ado, let's just hop swiftly into this point breakdown. All right. I gave Entertainment 15 out of 20. I was going to actually give it higher, and then I really thought about it, and I gave it lower. Performances 15 out of 20. Fine. Nothing spectacular. Direction 7 out of 10. Fine. Writing 6 out of 10. Biggest draw here is the writing. That's the thing I like the least. Emotion, 7 out of 10. Cinematography, 6 out of 10. Another big dip. Shaky cam. Why? Score, 4 out of 5. I thought the score was pretty cool. Pacing, 4 out of 5. Actually, the pacing wasn't that bad. Kind of flew by nicely. I'd give this a 5 out of 5 rewatchability. I will watch this again. And an automatic 5 out of 5 points. That means if you did the math, I gave Snake Eyes a 74 out of 100. So it's middle of the road. It's like a C. Not great. Not like I've been rating a lot of movies in this area because this area is the area of average. I mean, like literally, like if you get a C in school, like you're average. It's a lot of movies I watched lately have just fallen in the category of, yeah, they were fine. They were average. Like Space Jam, I said, is literally the definition of fine. I mean, this is another one that's fine. But this one's a little disappointing for me because the ingredients and the way like there are things in this movie that I'm like, oh wow, that could have been really good if you like just upped it to the next level. It had the opportunity to be great. It really did, but then it just like fell in to the regular tropey action mold, and I didn't like that because I wanted it to be a lot better than it was. But I want you guys to go down below in the comments right now. Let me know, what did you think of Snake Eyes? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know why. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Let's talk about Snake Eyes down in the comments. And guys, if this is your first time here and you've never seen anything that I've done before, first off, hello. Thank you for coming. It means the absolute world. If you have not already, please consider subscribing. We just passed 750 subscribers. We are working our way to 800, and we're working our way to the eventual goal by the end of the year of 1,000. Very lofty goal, I know, but I think we can hit it, and you guys can all help. Hit that big red button down below if you have not already. I do movie reviews each week and a bunch of other awesome movie content, and if that is something that you like, please consider hitting that big red button. But guys, that's pretty much it. I'm going to go blow my nose. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a great rest of the day. I'll see you in the next video.